What's going on YouTube? Ferocity here. Hope you guys are doing well. When crossplay was first introduced into the Call of Duty franchise, it was celebrated. It was long overdue, as many Xbox players wanted to play with their PlayStation friends, and PlayStation friends wanted to play with their PC friends, and PC players just wanted a larger player pool to play with, because PC didn't have the population it has today, so it allowed them to widen their matchmaking pool, which was great. It was a great decision by Call of Duty at the time. But unfortunately, as time moved on, we've come to realize that this decision has been somewhat detrimental to the game. Not because PC players and console players can't commingle and play with each other, but because it exposed console players to far more cheaters, far more deceitful tactics by PC players. And this isn't everybody that plays PC, but unfortunately, there is a larger percentage of PC players who cheat and use deceitful tactics than console players. And that's just the truth. It's a lot easier to hack on PC than it is on console. This isn't me saying there's no cheaters on console. I know the Chronos exists. There's also cheaters that somehow can access wall hacks as well. But the percentage of players that access those cheats are far less than those that access them on PC, because it's just easier to do so on PC. I think all you have to do is go into Google, type in Call of Duty cheats, and you can buy them. It's a little bit more complicated on console. You have to do more things to be able to access cheats on console, and for a lot of people, they're just too lazy to do that. So Call of Duty was at a crossroads earlier this year. They could have kept going down the path of we're going to keep crossplay in the game and not allow players to have a choice, but they decided to do the right thing. They decided to improve the quality of life for console players. Because let's be honest, that's where the largest contingent of players are. It's on console. So why wouldn't you try to make your console players happy? So the first step that Activision took was to allow console-only matchmaking in ranked play. And I believe that came with Season 2 or Season 2 Reloaded. And then finally with Season 3, they allowed it to expand to all matchmaking. So all matchmaking can now disable crossplay, so console players aren't going to have to deal with PC players. Yes, this is going to diminish the pool of players that you can match with, but if it provides a better experience, I think that is paramount. And this is why I'm going to champion this change. This is why I'm going to celebrate this change. Because at the core of everything needs to be player experience. And because the cheater problem in Call of Duty doesn't seem to be getting any better or going away, this is one way that console players can at least improve their experience for themselves. And I totally get it. I totally understand why players would want to completely eliminate PC players from their player pool. A lot more sweats on PC as well. But all in all, if you have less of a chance to encounter a cheater, that's a good thing. And honestly, it has me wondering, maybe it's time for me to move back to console as well. As much as I love moving to PC and playing on my PC, and it's very easy, I kind of miss the console days, man. I kind of miss it, if I'm going to be completely honest. And maybe it is time to go out and buy an Xbox Series X and be able to disable crossplay and see what Call of Duty has to offer. And then finally, maybe I can get Master Chief Collection to play on something that wasn't created last decade. And what I mean by that is I currently play Halo MCC on my original Xbox One that I bought the day Titanfall 1 came out. That's how old that console is. And it still works. I'll give it credit. It still works. But man, it's time for an upgrade. Sorry about that segue. I think it's important that we note that it was a good decision at the time for Call of Duty to enable crossplay for all of their platforms. And it worked for a period of time, but that period of time has passed, and I think it's good that Call of Duty has recognized that and have decided to change course, have decided to accept the fact that, yeah, you know what? Maybe this isn't the best way forward. Maybe allowing console players to just play amongst themselves is the best way to do it. I am curious to see what the fallout of this will be. Will this result in a migration of PC players to console players? Will it have very little effect? Or will it be something where it's not even an option in the next Call of Duty game? That's really what I'm curious to see, because if for whatever reason Call of Duty 2025 comes out and they don't have the ability to disable crossplay, I think the community needs to riot. That is going to be completely unacceptable. You have finally provided the community with a great quality of life change, and in classic Call of Duty fashion, you've removed it. We've seen it happen before, and I know it sounds like I'm pre-arguing with a situation that is completely fictitious, but it wouldn't surprise me if Call of Duty does it, only to make the change later on in the game's life cycle and say, see guys, we listen to you, we care. I am concerned that that might happen, but I really, really, really hope that they learn their lesson here and they understand that the community wants that option. Not everybody's going to take it. I'm not saying that everybody is going to turn crossplay off. This isn't going to vastly diminish the matchmaking pool for PC players. But what it is going to provide is an opportunity for console players to sort of have a safer haven to play Call of Duty in. Something that they've desperately been asking for. And yeah, maybe every once in a while they might try to step their foot in the water again with PC players, but they should have that option. They should have that opportunity to choose whether or not they want to play with PC players and potentially get exposed to more cheaters, or play with console players where players are going to play with a lot less possibility of being a cheater. That's the way I look at it. It would be really cool to track player numbers and see how this is affecting one way or another, but unfortunately we're not privy to that information, and that's maybe one of the more frustrating aspects of this. This is such a great quality of life change. It would be really nice to see the positive effects from it instead of just hearing anecdotes from members of the community. And I'm not trying to discount those anecdotes. I'm not trying to discount members of this community. I'd love to see the data. I'd love to see how many players are playing with crossplay disabled, how many players are playing with crossplay enabled, and what their matchmaking sessions are like. Is it increasing population or is it decreasing population? That is data that I would be very curious to see, but it's a pipe dream. It's never going to happen, and I understand that. I understand the position I'm in. Like, I'm a sucker for data. I know that. I love looking at data. I love analyzing it, but I'm not going to be somebody that's got that opportunity to do that. I'd love for Call of Duty to be more transparent in those areas so that we can study this game greater, so we can look at this franchise from different angles. But they like to hide all that stuff as much as possible. I don't know who it benefits. It'd be really cool, though, if the community had a little bit more transparency with Activision in general. But that's it for the video today. I really wanted to explore this crossplay situation because it's crazy to see something so celebrated in the beginning leave such a sour taste in so many players' mouths. I really hope that there is a time where we can open the matchmaking pool again to everyone, but we'll need to actually do something about cheaters first. So that is probably the more important thing here and the more pressing issue at hand. But that's it for me. It's now time for you to leave a comment down below what you think about crossplay in Call of Duty. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in that comment section. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.